Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I have guests on talking about the upcoming MLK Parade that will be held in January. So stay tuned for my interview coming up in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have the pleasure of sitting down with two beautiful ladies from our community, two of which in some cases don't need an introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have to my far left, I have Miss Taryl Anderson, and to my immediate left, I have here Miss Gilliam. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we're here to sit down and talk about something that comes around every year, and it is sponsored by one of our sororities here in town. That is the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, and I just so happen to have the president and the vice president this year sitting down with me. But I'm gonna ask you, ladies, Miss Faye, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm Gilliam, and I'm a longtime LaGrange resident. And I'm a member of Theta Zeta chapter here in LaGrange, the graduate chapter. I pledged at Valdosta State, Alpha Theta chapter at Valdosta State. I've been a Zeta coming up on 40 years next year. And it's just been my passion to work inside the community. Currently, I'm the property manager here at the LaGrange Housing Authority. And I'm just a longtime resident, big time fan of Dr. Martin Luther King, and just ready to get things rolling.
All right, all right. 40 years in the sorority.
Yes.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is.
And people understand this is a service organization. It doesn't just end when you leave college either.
No.
And Taryl Anderson, a longtime friend of mine, tell us a little bit about yourself if you don't mind.
I'm Taryl Anderson, longtime Troup County resident. Went to LaGrange College, graduated, joined the Sigma Eta chapter at LaGrange College in 1977. So I've been a Zeta for a long time as well. Okay. And currently I'm a retired educator, and I'm just active in our local chapter here, and I'm all about service and community efforts.
Absolutely. You know, LaGrange College has turned out a number of wealthy, very well-rounded individuals, and we're looking at one now, Fort Valley State. Miss Faye attended. Valdosta State. I'm sorry, I had to make sure we get that right, because you know when you're in that HBC, you don't want to mess that up.
No.
That's right. All right. Well, ladies, we're happy to have you all here with us today, and we're here to talk about something that has been taking place in our community for over 28 years. Always in the month of January, and that is the celebration of the MLK birthday and also the climax of the parade. Ms. Faye, talk a little bit about the history of the parade, if you don't mind.
As far as I know, the history of the parade was started, or the idea of the parade came about from Soror Elizabeth Scott. It was one of her passions to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King, and we primarily used the funds from this parade to fund scholarships for the community. Last year we were able to give out 3 scholarships to deserving students here in the community to help them on their way to college. And just the parade itself is just bringing about the spirit of the people in the community, letting us know that just like our theme saying, we're in it together, that we do have a history, that we have a background of great people that have paved the way for us so that we can be visionaries as well, and that we can be driven ourselves, and that drive that we have will be able to give our children hope to come up into the future.
Okay. And I'm going to ask this question to you, Ms. Anderson. The funds are used for scholarships.
Yes.
And you all were able to give out 3 scholarships to 3 deserving students. Why is that so important that we as service organizations be able to pour into the lives of individuals such by scholarship giving? Why is that important? Well,
it's really important because we want our young people to know that we want to invest in them. And it's important to get that further education, so that you'll know how to navigate the world. And when you give back to your community, you're strengthening the people in your community. So we're huge on service opportunities. It's not looking inward, it's not about self, it's looking outward and trying to improve opportunities for other people. So we especially love to do things for young people.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's so fitting, again, all of this service organizations as ourselves, fraternities and sororities, we are service-oriented groups, and it is about giving, lifting up the downtrodden, and I think our goals and objectives so parallel with each other. And this will be the 28th year. Talk a little bit about the parade and how a person can get involved with the parade, Ms. Faye, either one of you ladies.
The people can get involved by sending in their applications, and if they don't have an application for the parade this year, they can always send their name and the parade entry amount to our P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 2681. The parade chairperson is Sarah Yvonne Pittman. They can also contact her to receive information on how to enter into the parade. Also with the parade this year, we're trying to incorporate where we can support our young African American and any well, really any race of people that are starting up their own businesses, such as food trucks, the little booth, the little pop-up booth, you know, the young ladies selling their jewelry and stuff. So we're trying to incorporate everybody into the parade this year so that we can show families and just have a fun time and get people out to shop, to enjoy the parade and understand who Dr. King was and why it is important that we know the history of Dr. King, as well as all of our other, y'all know I get nervous, as well as all of our other forefathers that have fought and paved the way for us.
That's right. Absolutely. So important because small businesses are the backbone of any community, and those small businesses, they grow and become larger corporations and things of that nature, but everything has to start small.
Somewhere.
Absolutely. And Ms. Anderson, I want to ask you, you were talking about the parade and everything of that nature, and I know that you've been involved with a number of years. Talk about some of the high points of the parade, if you don't mind.
For me, some of the high points are just people coming together. Knowing that, of course, the purpose is to think about those things that Martin Luther King tried to instill in all of us, working together as people, coming together united, lifting each other up. And for me, it's been so refreshing to see people of all ages come together. It's not one specific age group, but it's families, it's generational kinds of things, and seeing people come together and enjoy the parade participants. The parade participants have gotten excited about it. They rally around a theme. They organize and, you know, decorate their cars, their trucks, create floats all around a central theme. But I think one of the key highlights, seeing people come together for a common cause.
Okay, very good. And I know over the course of years, the parade has grown. And I know that this year will be no exception, that it will grow as well. So again, if anybody would like to get an application, you contact Yvonne Pittman, whom I also reached out to today to ask if she would come on, and she said, well, I'm going to send my committee members on today. So we're very happy that you all are here. And Ms. Faye, you mentioned the theme of the parade, and I want to make sure that everybody hears that again. And you say that we're in this together. Why is it so important, ladies? I'm going to ask that to both of you all, that we realize and understand, because last year, 2020, is supposed to be 2020, is supposed to be clear vision. I don't know that all of us had a clear vision, but why is it so important that we realize that we're all in this together, utilizing that theme? Why is that important?
It's important because right now, not only is the United States, but the world is in a turmoil with this pandemic. We're at a crossroad with just racial inequities, injustices, and just coming together. We're at a crossroad where we have, you know, where people put right against wrong, or whichever way, police against the public, and we're at that crossroad. So it's important that we understand that we're in all of this together. As far as the pandemic, I'll speak on that first, because we have so many deaths, you know, and we have so many rights of people. So we can't just infringe ourselves in our rights or our beliefs on other people without hearing their sides or their views. And it's just so much turmoil right now in the United States, if I have to say myself. And but we got to come together. in order for this nation, the great nation of the United States, to prosper and to get better, we as a whole have to come together. That's why we said we're in all of this together. So when it comes down to listening and putting things together, we got to blend and hear both sides of the story. And we got to listen, sit down, come to the table, and just draw some form of a peace into what's going on in our society today. Now, as far as the pandemic, we have here also a part of our theme is bling your mask. Not bring your mask, but bling your mask. And we're trying to show support for people that want to wear a mask, but yet we want to show support for people that don't want to wear a mask. But in this event, we want people to come together, bling your mask, so that you can represent your group. So we will be giving a prize for that as well, along with the float. But my main thing, and I can't say what I really want to say because I'm at a loss for word, but I would just say we're in it together so that we can bring our country back together again and stop all the divisiveness. And whether it be our local community, our state community, and our national community. But we have to find some source of peace. We have to come together. This is what Dr. King was all about. He marched for all of that. He, the rest of the Divine Nine Men, Jesse Jackson, Julian Buns, and it's Ralph David Abernathy, I believe he represented the Alphas. And Jesse Jackson represented the men of Omega Psi Phi. They were together, along with the Sigmas, Jesse Jackson and I forget the other one, but Jose Williams. But along with them, all of these four men that represented four great organizations were together. And they thought about peace. They thought about the world. This is why our young black kids and our young white kids are marrying or playing together, because of what these men put forth. And we have to come together and be in it together so that we can give a future and hope for our young people.
Very well said. Okay. Ms. Anderson, want to add anything?
I think when I think about we're in it together, I think it's about looking outward and appreciating the value that we all bring to the table. Whether it's how we feel about mask or no mask, how we feel about social injustice, how we feel about housing, how we feel about any of those kinds of things. It's about coming together to really have that conversation and being bold enough to listen to each other. I think a lot of times we need to listen. You know, we talk a lot, but do we listen? And just appreciate the value that everybody brings to the table.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, so fitting that we're in it together, because we are, and we have to realize and understand that. And so many of the wonderful things that you all said, when we realize that, when we can come to the table, brotherly love, and sit down and talk about our differences, once we start talking, we're like, wait, we're not that much different.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's just talk a little bit about, because I want to make sure that everybody knows when the parade is going to be taking place, where we get started, and so on and so forth. So, Ms. Faye, if you don't mind, tell us the date of the parade and the time that it will be starting.
The date of the parade is Saturday, January the 8th. That's the second Saturday in January. Now, we always have a rain day also, so I'm not sure when that day will come about, but if it rains real bad, I believe the date is automatically pushed back to the next week.
The following. Okay.
And but it's January the 8th, and we're going to start the parade promptly at 1 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
So we're asking everybody to arrive. And we're asking everyone also to be aware of space limitations, because we're not going to be at Granger Park. We're going to be at Sweetland. Okay. And so we will be lining the floats, the cars, whatever your walking groups. We will be lining you all, up accordingly. And we don't have numbers this year, but we will be lining everybody up according to how they arrive, or according to the size in the groups that are available, that are going to be participating. But we will be there available to line up, I guess, around 10 or 11, so that we can get everybody there. And there's no guarantee that you're going to be first, second, or third. We're going to line you accordingly so that we can make this parade, the short distance, appropriate and a great flow for everyone.
Okay, all right. So just because I get there at 10 o'clock
Don't mean you're going to be first.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
Does not mean that.
Okay. Ms. Anderson, can you talk a little bit about the route, if you don't mind, for us?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So the route will be basically the same as it was last year.
Okay. All right.
We will go down and turn in front of what we know as the Bank of America and come back up.
Okay. All right.
So it'll be just that basic loop.
Okay.
Same as last year and years past, actually.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, very good. Now, vendors, if there's vendors that would like to come out and participate, there's an opportunity for that. And I think, Ms. Faye, you're going to leave some contact information if you don't mind.
Okay. Yes, they can contact Yvonne Pittman, or well, they can contact myself for the vendors at 706 616 3276. I also have a Facebook page if you would choose to message me. I think it's Eldra Gilliam, and just you can message or you can contact me by phone. But we are encouraging our young vendors to come out, or our new vendors to come out, and not only if you cannot put up your booth, because some of them have inside businesses, you know, where they're not coming out to the street, but get into the parade with your car. I think the fee is like $25. Get in with your car, showcase your business on your signs. Be there to, if you want to walk, have some of your employees walk and pass out your cards, so that people can know exactly who you are and where you are. Because our goal is to try to support everyone that comes, you know, that come into town with a business, and so that we can just be supportive of everyone and make sure that everybody's a success.
Absolutely.
But if you are going to be a vendor, we will be reserving that circle. It's very important for people that are showing up at the parade, the inner circle and the pavilion of Sweetland. We're going to reserve those spots for vendors. There is a vendor fee if you have a truck. It's truck or booth set up, or pop-up booth. It's $25 for the booth to be set up at that area.
Okay, well, very good. And I know that just like years past, it's going to be an awesome event. We're going to pray that the rain holds off, because I know, and you know, I remember it may have been the year before, maybe 2019.
We walked in the rain.
We walked in the rain, and I think one year, right after the parade ended, it started raining. That's right,
Yep.
absolutely. So we're going to just make sure that the rain holds off.
Absolutely.
I've got two things before we wrap up. We want to make sure that we talk about our waivers.
Oh, yes,
We have waivers this year.
Okay.
And I think we also need to talk about entry fees, because there are entry fees for different levels.
All right.
So I just wanted to remind us to, let's make sure we talk about those.
Okay, well, you want to go ahead and give that?
Okay, sure. So the entry fees for the walking groups, $25.
Okay.
The entry fee for the cars and trucks, $35.
Okay.
And the entry fee for floats, $50.
Okay.
And this year, because of the pandemic and all the things that are going on, each participant will be required to sign a waiver.
Okay.
And there will be waivers available, so when you make contact with our chairperson, Yvonne Pittman, or our president, Faye Gilliam, please request a waiver, because it's going to be important that everybody signs a waiver. So it's not a group waiver, it's an individual waiver.
Okay, very good. All right.
And that's just important to know before we get there.
Yes, absolutely.
And to piggyback on that, with walking groups and children that are in the parade, please let us know ahead of time, so your number, so that we can send those. If you have a school group, I know I talked to one principal at one of the schools. She told me, she said, well, I'm going to, if I get the copy of the waiver, I'm going to send it home ahead of time so that the parents can sign.
Okay.
Because we can't sign, or no other adult can sign that waiver for your child. And when we talk about the waiver, I want to make sure everybody understands what the waiver actually is. You know, when you go into the restaurants, JCPenney's, Belts, any business, they have that Georgia sign up saying about the injury and the risk of COVID that you're taking. So we're doing no more or no less than any business or a company or building that you walk into on your own on a daily basis. So we do ask that you give us a number, so that people that's going to attend, so that we can get that waiver to them. And also to piggyback off on the cars and the walking group. Now, y'all be fair to us. If you have a car in the parade and you want a group walking behind you, that's two separate entries.
Okay, good
So
point.
y'all be fair to us about that. 2 separate entries. So if you have a car and you decide to have a youth group walking behind you, then you have to pay for your car and your youth group.
Because it's all about scholarship.
Scholarship.
And
It's all about it.
one of those
Unfair to
walkers
us.
may be a recipient of
Yes,
that scholarship.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, ladies, I want to thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming on and
We
sharing
thank
this
you.
information. And I know once again, and I know LGTV will be there covering the parade as we have done in the past.
We
so I
thank
look
you.
forward to that. And I know that it's going to be a great turnout, and we're going to have entries just going to line up the streets, and we have people line up the street to see it because we're all in this together.
Excuse me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being on my show and being my guest today.
We thank
We
you,
thank you.
so
All right.
much. Thank you.
Sweetland on Ice is returning for the 2021-2022 season. Beginning Friday, November 19th and lasting through February 14th, the Great Lawn at Sweetland Amphitheater will host a covered 5,500 square foot open-air ice skating rink. Bring your family and friends to this winter wonderland and enjoy holiday decorations, a spectator section with heaters to enjoy the ice skating action, and delicious, affordable concessions. New this year, we've got beer and cocktails, brand new merch, and on select Friday nights, we'll be hosting free movies for the holiday season. You won't want to miss the winter fun. Go to sweetlandamp.com for ticket information.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been the President and Vice President of the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Ms. Faye Gilliam, along with Ms. Taryl Anderson, as they talked about the annual MLK Parade that will be taking place on January the 8th, starting in Sweetland here in downtown. So by all means, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you go out, come out, support, and get in the parade because we are all in it together. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed my interviews, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.